Howdy y'all, Scott Grove here of GroovyMusicLessons.com with hour and part number 22 of Ask Scott Grove Anything videos here on August 24th, 2013, my dad's 74th birthday. So happy birthday to Dad, which means Gene Simmons' birthday is the next day. So when I'll actually get all these uploaded, who knows, takes a lot of time to convert them for some damn reason, and at least 3 or 4 hours to upload each one since I live in the sticks. I checked on for a couple people on the last hour where I didn't know a couple things and they just wanted me to check something. One was the new Graphtec tuners. What they are each tuner is a different ratio. Okay, so you're used to, you know, having like your 18:1 ratio on your high E, and then they actually change the ratio of the tuner for every single string because of, you know, the thicker the string. Okay, so they want each one to be like the same. So if you're going from like a low E string is tuned up and you want to go down to like D, you go 1/2 turn is a half step. Turn it again, you're at D. Okay, so you're at E flat, then D. You know, and that works with every string. So each string responds in about the same way. You know how your high E string takes forever and ever and ever and ever to wind on? Well, they're fixing that, or they have compensated for it. Very interesting. They look like they will be a great thing for a lot of people, and they're the same price as any other, you know, high-end tuners. But everything tunes up the same, so it doesn't take forever for the high E string anymore, and then your low E goes on, boom, then you're done, or you overshoot it, or you break it, or whatever. The only thing is that for me, I am such a big roller nut freak, and I love to have the Fender type headstocks, no tilt back headstocks allowed here. So I need locking tuners that are height compensated. They don't allow those, or they don't have those in that format yet. But for anybody else, yeah, it looked like a great idea, so thanks for asking me to check it out. It's a very cool set of tuners. And another guy asked me to check out the French, how do you actually put it? And I marked right through it. What do you think about the French polishing of a guitar? What it actually ended up being, if I read it right, was actually refinishing the guitar, putting on clear coats using Everclear 190 proof alcohol, and over the days, you know, a lot of elbow grease, but with this stuff and this oil, and that would separate and stuff, but it's actually applying layers and layers of new, but a nice finish to your guitar. I'm going to have to check it out and try it out, because I got a few guitars I could use it on, but I have to see how it would interact with guitars with an existing finish. So that's the part I have to really check out. But it's interesting, so to see how it would work with poly and nitro finishes that are already on a guitar. Okay, if you can just build up from there and sand, you know, with, you know, your fine grit wet sanding at the end, and hopefully that's what you're talking about. And it seems cool. I'll give it a, you know, whack, but I have to, of course, find out how it reacts with both types of clear coats. Okay, we are in hour 22 here at GroovyMusicLessons.com. Ask Scott Grove Anything. And so we're finishing up these. So it might be this one and another one might get us through it. Okay, so let's see where we left off. Let's see. Okay, here we are. We left off, and we're going to Chuck McGorty, McGourty, and he has a couple. Says, "Hey Scott, great channel, thanks." Cool, thank you. I'm selling my Martin 0018C VR. It was custom made for Buffalo Brothers guitar to their specs. It is a cutaway with a rosewood back, and it stops there. And then he starts over on another post, which I will get to. I am sitting here working at the same time, so pardon me while I'm going away. I am not doing any kind of editing. I have to do this in order to keep the biz going, because things are mailing out here very shortly, and I have to get to them. As soon as I finish this video, I have a lot of stuff to get ready to go to the post office. So, okay. So anyway, he's talking about his Martin, and I'm gonna sit here and keep going through this. I got a few more buttons to push, then I'm all yours. And still pushing buttons, and almost done. And I'm just copying DVDs that I'm selling over here, and get to do 22 DVDs at a time over here. Copy, just stick one in, and okay, now it copies 22 of them over there for me at a time. Okay, and let's see, he started it over again. Okay, so it was made for the Buffalo Brothers in 2007. It's a cutaway with the Indian rosewood back and side, Sitka spruce top, and ebony fretboard. I paid $2,400 for it, and it's a great guitar in excellent condition. I have personally never seen a 0018 like this one. Have any idea what I could sell it for? Okay, I'm guessing that it's going to be perfect condition still. It says it's in excellent condition. You paid $2,400. It's the Martin. Typical. I don't know if it has any inlays talking about the whole Buffalo Brothers thing, or if anything's personalized about that. So it would be something where you'd have to send me a photo of it and let me know that kind of thing to be able to really tell you, because I don't know what kind of appointments it has, if there's any abalone, or if it's, you know, just plain or anything like that, because there's nothing here that says anything about that, or any kind of rosette, or see if this is going. Yeah, that's moving just fine over there. Crack. Okay, so if you could just send me that and let me know, and I'll be able to help you out with no problem. Okay, from Samuel Pierce. Does string gauge affect your tone at all? No, not on electric anyway. And why is your screen name Groovy DJs? And what are your thoughts on gaze? Okay, no problem. Does string gauge affect your tone at all? On electric, I mean, they are slightly bigger, of course, or smaller, and they have a little more to pick up on, but it's nothing that you can really hear. It's so minute. It would they probably make about as much difference as playing with this end of the pick and with this end of the pick. You know, it's just like there's not enough difference to actually call it a definite yes or anything. With acoustic strings, it definitely makes a difference. But the sheer thickness of your strings on electric instruments is so very minute. Bass strings probably more than you know, guitar strings on electrics. What has other stuff? The Groovy DJs is just exactly that. I run a company called a mobile DJ business called Groovy Productions, and that name wasn't available as a screen name on here, so I had to just go with Groovy DJs, even though I'm the only DJ, because there was a Groovy DJ already. So if I put an S on it, then I was allowed to have the name. I didn't plan on using this YouTube account for anything other than my DJ business, but I was unaware back then that people were allowed to have more than one screen name. And boy, did I learn a lot, because people change their names every single day just to bitch at me and then get rid of that name, whatever it is, because they're too much of pussies to cyber fight me. Little bitch slaps online. So, and what are my thoughts on gays? Well, gay people are gay. That's that. The only time that I guess gay people bother me at all, really, is just when they're just so flamboyant that it's irritating. You know, that they're actually looking for attention. You know, they're in a room and just, oh, so out there, and just, oh, everything is fabulous, and just, you know, floating around and just begging for attention. Then it's distracting. But as far as being actually gay, I mean, you can't control what you are. Some people, I don't know that some of them are. They just think it's kind of a cool to be gay, so they pretend they are, maybe. But the ones that are like that, maybe. But as far as it being gay or not being gay, I could care less. Okay, here's some 10 fingers. That's a good thing to have, 10 fingers. Scott, thank you for your patience. I didn't know I had patience, but yeah, you're welcome. I'm usually so impatient. Question. Good. What speaker or monitor would I need for my phone modeling amp software? Okay, I am so dumb when it comes to phones. Nothing. I don't know it. I don't even allow picture taking, texting. I told them to take the service off. I don't want to be able to text. I don't want to be able to get them. Nothing. I don't even want a camera on my phone. They said, we don't have any phones without cameras. It's like, I don't want them. I don't know anything about phones. It says, I play through my headphones, but would also occasionally like to use a speaker of some kind. It is my understanding a guitar amp will color the sound unnecessarily. Color the sound of what? Your phone? I'm guessing. I don't know. On another note, I bought one of those broomstick Steinbergers you reviewed. I don't know why every company doesn't produce a headless model. True. It's a beautiful thing. Any good replacement pickups besides the lace? Humbucker, single, humbucker. Oh, whatever you like. Yeah, there's I like just being able to split them, though. It's always nice to have that. So stay away from Seymour Duncan at all costs, is what I always say, because, well, I personally don't like them. Some people do because they're still around, but the DiMarzio SD3s I really like for the humbuckers. And as far as other single coils, DiMarzio again makes some nice stuff. Just to get them nice and quiet, and throw a couple coil split switches. You can't coil tap a humbucker. You can coil tap a single coil, but yeah, or do a push pull on them if you don't want to put the little things in there and get all kinds of tones out of it. But cool. I don't get the first part. I don't see. You want a speaker monitor for my phone modeling amp software. I'm lost there, my friend. I just honestly don't know what it is you're talking about there, because like I said, I don't know dick about phones. I didn't know phones had modeling amp software built into a telephone. I use these little, for my actual TV out here, I bought these set of Behringer speakers. They're powered stereo that sound great. They just got a bass and a treble on them, but I'm using them for my TV out there, and they kick major ass, and they've never been shut off in 2 years. I'll actually just get the model number off of them, because I really do like these. Give me a couple seconds. Okay, I'm coming back. Okay, the actual model number is MS, so it just stands for monitor speakers, 16. So the Behringer MS 16s. I really like them. They're mainly meant to be used for like my multi-track recorder and so forth, you know, just typical monitor speakers, but they just really sound good. I was extremely surprised and still pleasantly surprised, and zero problem from them, and the sound is great on them. Like I said, I can't believe how great those sound compared to the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars I spent on so many surround sound things and subwoofers and high-end stuff that just doesn't compare to these little pieces of crap, and they sound great. So hopefully that helped in some way. I'm sorry I'm not a phone guy at all. So okay, let's go to Rob Dillon. I have enjoyed your videos, thank you, and they have brought many a chuckle, thank you. I just, yeah, I wish the world would laugh a little more and enjoy some of the little stuff, especially not a person is mentioning Nigel, my little alter ego. I'm sad. Made a new Nigel video a couple days ago. Not one of these hundreds of people have mentioned, over 600 questions have ever mentioned Nigel. I wish you the best with your health situation. Thank you so much. Ask who are some of my top musical influences. Again, yeah, it just comes straight down to just a couple people, because I'm really not influenced by many. So it was just Ace Frehley with the basic licks, Chuck Berry, same licks, and Luther Perkins from Johnny Cash's original band, you know, and, the Tennessee Three. Very simple influences, so, and they're just what I would hear on the radio. I wouldn't sit there and try to pick much apart, but as far as influences, that's about it. So thanks for the questions, my friend. Here's Clayton Atkins. Love your videos, Scott. Thank you. Just wondering what really got you into guitar. Again, it was just the giving of the gift of Kiss records by my dad. You know, Mom got me the guitar, Mom and my stepdad, but then it was just that first set of Kiss albums just changed it. You know, it's like electric, okay, distortion, cool, fire bombs and all kinds of this shit, and then seeing these PS10 guitars like nothing I'd ever seen in my life, and that was it. You know, just like the generation right before me, you know, 10 years before me was all about Beatles. I was born in '64, the same year the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan, so I missed it by that much. But yeah, so it was the Kiss thing. It's just the show, you know. So loved it. I still think everybody should put on a show. Here's somebody gonna talk some cool things. Panther Piss 7000. Sounds like a good name for a band. Panther Piss 7000. Kiss was actually going to call themselves Albatross Shit. Albatross Shit was one name thrown around, then they came up with the name Fuck after they were told to make it simpler. And then they were like, well, you can't really do fuck. So it's like, can you calm the fuck down? Like, calm it all the way down to a kiss if you want. And they didn't care, so they went with Kiss. That's the way I hear it anyway. Okay, they ask, are you familiar with the Ibanez Challenger guitars? Is that the... God. There are so many Challengers for different companies. See, there was a Silver Series, I remember. This is 70s. These are probably going to be the Strat copies. I'll have to look them up and give you some info on them, but I'm thinking those were the Strat copies in about 73, somewhere around there. which still would have been only a 3-way toggle switch. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was just the Strat copy, which would have been pretty much dead on. But and then Panther Piss up here, 7000 got marked as spam, so I can't see it. I don't know what it says. Sorry about that one. I usually hit show on those so I can see them and answer them, but I can't answer that one. I don't know it, my friend. Okay, did that one finish up? How does it look? Looks like what I ordered. Okay, I'll shut this machine down just so I can have some peace of mind. Okay, now we're back to sorry, I'm losing my mind again, but that's what I do. Cordovanby, however that comes out. It says, hi, howdy. It says, thanks for all you've shown us on video. Can I learn guitar in my lifetime by only practicing 20 to 30 minutes per day? Yeah. Depends on how old you are currently. But yeah, you can. It really don't take that long if you actually apply yourself during that amount of time. I bought my grandson, okay, so you ain't got that much time left. I bought my grandson, age 9, a Squire Strat. What do you think would be the best way or method for him to learn guitar? He thinks I will be able to teach him, but I am new also. I hate the idea of holding him back, and he will learn 30 times faster than you. I would like for him to be able to fly. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, kids just learn so much faster. He's 9. Well, first thing, open up that back of that guitar, where there's a thing got 6 screws in it, if it has that whammy bar thing on it, and there's 2 screws that hold these springs in the back, and they're hooked to a claw. Screw those screws in all the way so that whammy thing doesn't work, and then hide the bar somewhere, because it's gonna do nothing but screw him up as far as tuning goes. So just it's called a whammy bar. That needs to be all tightened up so that it can't move, so it won't have any tuning issues, because that'll make him quit playing guitar. It's having that whammy on that Strat. It just does. They shouldn't. I think they should charge extra for the whammy, and the rest of them should just be whammy-less, what's called a hardtail, because they're just not needed and they're a pain in the ass. Yeah, the kids are going to learn much quicker than Grandpa's going to. So, yeah, the video lessons are great, and there are plenty of good ones right here on YouTube. Marty Schwartz is very good with the kids. So just look at Marty Schwartz, and he's got some great stuff for the kids, as do a few other people. But that's who I would have you send him to, and for all the free lessons that you can possibly get. And Marty sells, his lessons online, as do I. But I only do the one kid video, but then I do the rock lessons too, and it depending on how motivated the kid is. My rock lessons, they get you learning, all your Smoke on the Water junk and all that stuff in the very, very, very first day. So, you're playing rock music, day one. So you have your choice. Either you're going to do the Mary Had a Little Lamb crap, or you're going to be doing ZZ Top and Deep Purple and all that stuff the very first day. So that's the way it goes with my paid lessons. So if you want to talk to me about those, or just go there and go to the groovymusiclessons.com and go under the electric guitar lessons, find rock guitar for the beginner, and he can sail away, and he can fly, like you said, in no time at all. The very first day he's going to be playing better than most people after 3 years worth of private lessons. So and otherwise go to Marty Schwartz for some free stuff. Okay? And let's go to... Okay, I got rid of that page. Let's go to... Boy, these time just goes by too damn fast. What do I have here? Removed. Spam. So, somebody named Gamer something. I usually don't like gamers. It was marked as spam, so it's not showing up on here. So sorry, my friend. Here's Wes Matron. Saxophone. Oh, they're always he's answering a question is all. Here's Brandon Castillo. So I have a two-part question. Okay. The first is, what do you think about John Mayer as an artist and a songwriter? Yeah, take him or leave him. Everyone is always pretty negative about him because he did some stupid stuff in his personal life. I don't know anything about his personal life at all. But to me that has nothing to do with music, not exactly. And my second question is, if you never picked up a guitar, what direction do you think your life would have gone in? Yeah, I would have just simply got into microbiology, or that's probably about it. I was just a huge biology freak. So, no doubt, just would have, had I known it wasn't going to be music, but I always did, so there was no doubt about it. And by the time I left school, I'd already been playing 6-7 nights a week for 6 years before I left high school. So I already knew that was it. So there was no doubt what I was going to do. Yeah, so the biology would have been it, and would have had to gone, to college for at least 8 years, probably 12. Oh, here's Gerald from Gerald's Restoration, my good buddy. Scott, my man. Here's my question. What guitar company would you own if you were given a chance, and why? Your buddy Gerald. What guitar company would I own if given the chance, and why? I would own Gibson simply to shut it down. Just because enough is enough of that crap. I would not want it to go on. I would just shut the whole thing down. They're doing too much stupid shit with it, and honestly, just enough's enough. So you know me, that or the other, that Zager place, and shut it down for sure. Here's Daniel Brown. 2 questions, Scott. First, if you could live anywhere in the United States, which I can, besides where you're at now, where would it be? Would be, God, it would have been Jackson Hole, Wyoming, if it wasn't for the fact that I just totally hate snow, because it's beautiful there. Or I would go back to Indiana, but it's snow there too, so that's what those would have been the two. But man, there's just nothing left. I'd have to go somewhere where there's just no snow at all. I don't know where that would be, but I wouldn't go to Phoenix or nothing like that. I just hate it over there. I don't know, maybe move 2 or 3 miles in one direction or the other from where I'm at, because I have no real answer for you there. But second, I'm 21, playing in a band, trying to make a living playing music. That's rough now. Am I better off going to college or to continue to chase the dream? Thanks for the awesome vids. How much of a chance do you have with the band you're in? How much of a chance you know already? I don't know how good you are. How good are you? And even then, you got a 1 in a million shot at anything, and then you have to do at least 3 albums that are very successful before you get any of your advances paid back. So before you make a dime, you better have like 3 platinum albums and the only money you're going to make is going to be on the road. The rest is being paid back as far as album sales and so forth, so you have to tour to make the money. God, but you have to do both at a young age as far as going to school or being a musician before you're too old that they just don't want your face on an album cover, you know. So if you're really hot and really talented, then yeah, go for the music thing. But I hate that. I hate people always tell me that I'm dashing people's dreams all the time, just telling them they can't make it, they can't make it. You know if you can make it. I know if I can make it. You know, it's like, if you think you have what it takes, and honestly have what it takes, and there's some bands that suck, as you know, that are there, put it this way, how many contacts do you have directly to the business? You know, again, there's an old saying, it's who you know or who you blow. So who do you guys know? Who are your inside sources? You know, it's really, it comes down to that, you know, most of the time. How many times have you been on all these TV shows where one of you just takes off and decides to go be on American Idol or I'm a Sellout Bastard or any of these shows? What have you done? You have to make your own breaks. Nobody else will make your breaks for you. So ask yourself the real serious questions. Do I have it? Are you out there making your own breaks? Are you knocking where you have to knock? Or do you know the people who can get you in so you can even knock? You know, you have to have your shit together to really do it these days. It can't just be because you're great. You have to have connections. So do you have those connections? If not, go to school and hope by the time you get out that there's any kind of job market. Otherwise you'll be working at McDonald's no matter whether you can play guitar or have a major degree in something. It's a horrible world to be in, my friend. I don't want to dash your dreams because you could be the next Justin Bieber or whatever it is. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't know what you're into. But if you can get in and talk to Usher and whatever, if you have the ability to do so, apparently you have to do anything to make it happen and be out there on the streets every single flipping day trying to make it happen, because you're not going to make it happen by just wishing for it. Okay, so make your own breaks if that's what you want to do. Okay, here's one from Faison Koza. Hey Scott. Hey Faison. I've got a combo amp and the speaker isn't working too well with it. Could you give me some pointers on picking the replacement speaker? Yeah, put in whatever it has in it, back in it. It was meant to be in there. Put the same thing back in, or if I knew what the amp was, I could tell you more about what to cram in there, but I just don't know what amp it is you have. So replacing it with a direct replacement speaker is always the answer, unless I know what it is and what your baffle board is made out of, you know, the board the speaker is actually attached to, and the specs of your amp and blah blah blah. So if you want to write me with all that, I'll be glad to help you out, my friend. Okay, here's one from Robolands Vids, I'm sorry. Hey Scott, hey! Really enjoying the Q&As, vids. Thanks for being so open about everything. You mentioned that you suffered with anxiety, yes, as I do, he says, and depression, and that you take medication for both. I just wondered if you're getting tired getting on without the meds. I just wondered if you'd tried getting on without the meds. Yeah, and immediately I just wanted to blow my brains out, and I tapered off every single thing, because before my main doctor left the state and moved to Minnesota, he had to give me a clean thing before I have to go 2 states away over to Utah to even see a doctor now, because there's nobody here in this town or at the whole hospital here that is qualified or even willing to give me my prescriptions, because they won't give those prescriptions out. They have something against my prescriptions, so I have to go to a neurologist to get them. So he had to take me completely off all the meds over a good period of time, and it was just like everything came crashing in again. Of course, you know, yeah, you'll die if you come off of them, you know how that goes. So yeah, tapered, and it was just, if you don't stick me back on this shit, I have to blow my brains out, because it's so ungodly. I know you probably know, but yeah, there was no getting on, because he had to see, I can't remember what it's called for right now, to make sure it wasn't the drugs that was making me goofy. You'll know it before I will, or not, maybe, since you're there with me. But yeah, it's not good without them. It's right back to normal, which is not good. Depression, take medication for both. I wondered if you tried getting off it. I did after 10 years, and on balance feel no different. The withdrawal, 5 days of tripping was hell. But it's nice to have some emotions back now. I definitely recommend that if you're still having freakouts even with the meds. Cheers. Yeah, I'll ask and see what they think. I'm actually weaning off of the Neurontin right now. So the Xanax and the Effexor are still there, and then of course the Lortabs in no different amounts. They actually doubled the Effexor on me this year. But yeah, the Neurontin I'm weaning off of right now. I've got about another month and I'll be off of those totally, to see how it goes. They doubled me on those for a while, and it was just a total freak out. And then I tried to get off these before, and it was a freak out. So we'll see. I'm almost halfway through weaning off the Neurotins. So I'll give anything a try, that's for sure. And thank you, my friend. And let's go up to Kyle Soluka. He's got another question. What about the PV Foundation bass? Great bass. I have one and absolutely love it. I can't believe that it was originally marketed as a student model. I know they are fabulous. PV gear is amazing. The Foundation bass, amazing. Absolutely amazing. You can't be, I don't know how. And the PV Dyna bass also amazing. But you got the ferrite pickups, they're amazing basses. Another question, I'm typing these as I think of them, so sorry there's so many. That's okay. What is your favorite wood for woodworking? I mean, not guitars. Thanks for all the vids, and sorry to hear about your health. That's cool, man. Appreciate it. For woodworking, I always just like the pine stuff. You know, it's just easy. You don't have to. It's easy on your on all your come on, having a brain fart. Good God, let me turn around and look. There's pine right here behind me. Everything's pine that I work with. Right there it is, and I can't think of it. And I got a million of them in the garage. My routers. Okay, there you go. On your routers and everything, it's just so easy to work with. It's like when you're doing guitars out of basswood. It's just so easy to work with. And I do, I relic everything, but I hate relic guitars. So I distress the furniture is what they call it. So that'd be it, my friend. Sorry to be short, but I'm trying to get to as many as I can before this particular video runs out. Maybe I can get them in, maybe not, but we'll see. Oh, and another question. Oh, I'm sorry. This is for Bucks Corp, BUX Corp. Hey Scott, greetings from Ireland. Ah, green clovers. Doing the Lucky Charms thing we always do, don't we? Love your videos, and I'm really enjoying the Q&A ones. I just wondered what you thought of Charvel and Kramer guitars. Apologies if you've been asked these questions already. There are so many comments to go through, that's for sure. Charvel and Kramer, both exactly the same answer. When they came out they were great, and now they blow. You know, both of them, you know, so I mean, they've come back around, of course, you know, but since Gibson bought Kramer and fucked them up and turned them into $69 instruments or less at one time. But the old aluminum neck things were great, and the Charvels, when Jackson actually had them, were great, but then sold them off. So same story with everybody. They were great when they first came out, but very quickly they became crap. Here's Wobert. Hey Wobert. Robert Bradley. Why won't you answer any questions, Scott? Rolls eyes ironically. It says, rest up buddy, chill out and enjoy yourself, you deserve it. Love all your videos. So he's telling me to take a break from all this shit. That's why I'm trying to get through these last few and do exactly that. Thank you, my friend. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Bob Blun. In reply to Bob Blun, and I don't see your first answer. Let me clarify it a bit. Whatever that is, I don't see him anywhere else on the same page. The most crucial or influential, which is coming out of nowhere, so I thank you so much for sharing with us. I learn a lot by watching your vids, and I really do appreciate it. Well, maybe I'll run into Bob's first question in a little bit. Next is Lion L. No, I don't know. Looks like LIONELGG one man. Hey Scott, really enjoy all your videos. I wanted. Then it quits. Okay, that's him again. Sorry about the double comment. My old hand just hit the send button before I wanted to. Okay. Well, anyway, could you show me how to play I Swear by John Michael Montgomery? I played it many times with the man. This is me and my wife's wedding song, and wondered if would love to learn how to play it for her. So if you could do a video on that, that would be cool. Sure. You got it, my friend. Let me make it. Just put a big star by your name so I remember to do it. Like I said, I actually played with John Michael Montgomery for a while, and of course still remember that song inside out. I remember how to play every song I ever learned in my life, I think, before being fucked up. Here's one from KC4JTA. Hey Scott, first thanks for the great lessons. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you. I have learned more from you in just a few months than in many years of other stuff, like books and CDs, and yeah, I hear you, my friend. That's why I try to do it the old, like hanging out with your best friend type of way. Being an old fart at 56, that's my wife's age. I never thought I could really learn more than just a few chords. Can you go over a few tips on traveling with a guitar? Also, what's the difference between low and high tension strings on a nylon string classical guitar? Exactly what it sounds like as far as the nylon strings. If you want that floppy feeling, or if you like them nice and tight feeling, even though they're still going to be tuned to the same pitch. Excuse me, they make nylon, excuse me again, that actually has more tension on it, just to feel stiffer, because it's such a light material, and it takes forever, as you know, to break them in and make them stay in tune. that sucker's out of tune. Not that it's going to matter, and I'm wasting time tuning, but feel sorry for my poor axe here, not being in tune. Yeah, my Paul Stanley model ukulele. Okay, so nylon strings, yeah. Very loose, very loose, very loose, very loose, and they make high tension strings here, which actually feel better, but these are still the stock stock strings, original strings on here. So it just depends totally on what you dig. So there's nothing different except for having to adjust the truss rod a little bit, you know, tighten it a little bit if you go with the high tension ones. So it's just, if they're feeling just too floppy for you, yeah, just, it's not so much a gauge thing, it's a actual tension thing. So they make the nylon out of a different property. So you will have to just tighten the truss rod just a little bit in order to flatten your neck out, but you're good there. Let's see, what was the other thing you had? Traveling with a guitar. Okay, for people who have regular guitars, which is most of you, just detune the strings a couple turns is about it, and put a humidifier. If you're going someplace dry, you can get them for like $2 or $3. Really, it's just a little piece of clay that gets wet and stays in a little thing, or you can put it in sound hole, or if it's electric, it just tosses in the case too. I've got them in my acoustic cases. But if you're going somewhere dry, humidifier, just toss it in the case after you've got the clay all wet, and make sure, because otherwise it will split the top of your guitar right in half. Okay, and then keep it in the case all the time, and then redo your thing like every 2 days, get that clay all wet again, and toss it back in the little thing that comes in. But they make the humidifiers. Dehumidifying is tough, but go to stumac.com and you can get something that will dehumidify, but it has to stay in your case when traveling. But as you're traveling, just keep everything tuned down just a little bit, like down a whole step, down everything down to D. You don't have to tune it down, just loosen them up so that when you're traveling, the necks don't warp due to humidity and temperature changes. Other than that, you'll be fine. Okay. And always take them inside with you. If you get out of somewhere, take them into your hotel room. Don't ever leave them outside, because it's just going to get killed out there. Okay, here's Tone Junkie. Said, what is your opinion, if any, on boutique guitars? Okay, so these are the fancy schmancy ones by Char, and S-U-H-R, for those of you who don't know, Anderson, Melancon, or boutique amplifiers, Bogner, Solano, Matchless. I could give a shit about any of them. I completely agree with the idea of how learning many styles of music and knowing when to play as opposed to showing off as how to play. Cheers from Will. His name is Will. Yeah, I could care less about all the boutique stuff at all, whether it be guitars or amps. None of it impresses me. And it's funny how Panther or Char or Anderson or any of them, they all just make Fender copies. It's just Strats and Tellys, Strats and Tellys. How about a Strat or another Telly, or maybe a Jackson Soloist? So it's, I see nothing there. I've played them and I don't see any difference other than they use lots of flame maple or quilted stuff. That's all you get is a fancier top put on them. You know, of course you'll get the drop tops from Anderson with the totally hollowed out or chambered, you know, guitars. But I'm not a fan of that whole thing either. So, and the amplifiers, it's just tube crap, and you can build them at home. So, yeah, I have definite thoughts that I won't do them. So, no good for me. If you like them, cool. Okay. But thanks, Will. I appreciate you writing in, my friend. Here's Mano Liz Barbatas. And why does it sound weird? Hi, Scott. Greetings from Athens, Greece. There you go. Greece is the word, is the word. I know, first time you've heard that today. I would really like to thank you for all of your videos. Thank you, my friend. They have been so helpful to me at least. I own the Fender set neck Strat. I remember this one. 92 model with the lace sensor. Neck has the blue, middle has the gold, and dually in the bridge red. I've got some not so positive comments from some owners of the traditional Strats. What are your comments and or opinions? Great axe, fuck 'em. It's yours, ain't it? And you have lace sensors, you're doing great. Yeah, fuck 'em. Yes, that's like me, you know. I get some of the greatest stuff there is, and it blows people's minds. They come up and say, God, how do you get that tone? Holy shit, I've got this and I've got this. And they have all the boutique stuff, the Andersons and the matchless amps, and I'm playing my custom-made, you know, axe or whatever, or a $300 Paul Reed Smith from Korea, and playing through my Johnson Millenniums and just smoking their tone. And they're all about, what's my stuff into? You've got a superb axe. There's nothing that is going to come close to it. If you like the guitar itself, groovy. If not, sell it to me. Okay? So I'll pay the shipping from Greece, no problem. Apparently I replied to somebody. Oh, it's about Kramer and all that stuff. Okay. Here's Tim White, I'm sorry. Hi, Scott. Came across you 6 weeks ago. My understanding of the neck is so much clearer, still digesting it, but thank you. 3 questions. Do I deserve to feel quite as smug and happy when I'm playing my Epiphone EJ200? Why not? And cost 299 pounds maybe? I never knew what that L was. Never cared, but should I even attempt to find it in my heart to try and forgive my ex-girlfriend for jumping up and down on my Epiphone Jane Dave Navarro signature and reducing it to matchwood? Chicks suck, and some don't. Gotta love the ones that do, but they won't after you get married. And what do you make of Frank Zappa? Don't really know. He's a strange one, but extremely intelligent and extremely dead. Did you enjoy his humor? I never got to know his humor. And do you rate his music? Nope. I just tuned in to Steve Vai once just to see what it was like when he was a kid to playing over there, and so the more I remember a song called I think it was Penguin in Bondage or something like that, but otherwise I've never heard anything. I don't care to hear it. It doesn't interest me at all. I just don't get interested in people. The EJ200, great axe. I wish they... Hell, I'd like to have one. I should just go get one. Yeah, feel everything, man. That's a great axe. And it's too bad about the Navarro thing, though. But you're not allowed to kill her. Well, you can, but just bring her out here to the desert, man. It's a big fucking desert out here. You can bury her out here. So thanks for asking, man. Sorry, I'm just not into those. I'm not into anybody, so it's not just Zappa. I just really don't care about anybody as far as musicians. Just a couple, but not enough to even carry a conversation with. Here's page 14617. It says, "Greetings, Scott. I recently found your channel. I've enjoyed your videos. I want to know when you became convinced that digital modeling amps were better than tube amps." The day that I got the Johnson, that I went and tried it out and actually started programming it, I sold everything I had that had tubes in it. These have 2 tubes, of course, and I've had tons and tons and tons of tube amps, everything that is supposed to be the best, and I just said screw that shit, and was tired of them anyway. They're all just waiting to die. It's like they were always in the shop, all of them, didn't matter what it was, from the High Watt to the Sound Cities to the Twins to the Marshalls to God, had so many of them, of course the Boogies and stuff, and as soon as I tried these out and actually got my own sounds instead of the presets and got a few in there, and then I actually made the purchase, and then took it on stage, and within a week had a good palette of nice sounds that I made on the fly, and it's just like, sell everything off, man. This is it. Get a couple more, and that's what I did. So it was just like such better, just much better tone than anything I'd ever had by far. Nothing compares. I mean, it's just stupid how above and beyond these things are. And I didn't know anything about programming that stuff. You know, I'd done some with, you know, little crap, you know, other 80s type of stuff, but it wasn't like this. This is like flying a fucking jet plane. But once you know it, you know it. You know, I've got like 10 manuals down here for these things, and they're all for each amp. It's not all for the same amp, but they are honestly just that much cooler, and the people who get rid of them are the people who are not as bright as the amp, because if they were, they wouldn't be getting rid of their Johnson. So let's see what kind of time I got here. I got time for another one, yeah, and then I got time for one more video maybe, if I can get it in here tonight. Scott, I love this. Here's from I'm sorry, Nike Manned 1. Scott, I love the Q&A concept. Thank you, Betty. Amazing information, and the peek into your personal life is very cool. Anyway, I bought a new Fender Mexican Strat. Cool. About a year ago, and a half year ago when I started learning guitar. Everything's stock. I love this guitar, and it plays great. I was thinking at some point I'd like to modify it with some better parts, new pickups, better nut, perhaps locking tuners. What things would you advise me to do when it comes time to making some changes? All the best to you. All the best to you. I never once modified a single Mexican Strat ever. I never found a need to. If there's something you just hate about it, then I would, but I love the pickups. I never had a problem with the nut. You know, I would put a roller nut or something in maybe, but if you want locking tuners, but I never had a problem with any of mine ever. The Beaner casters, I love them. Unless you just really hate something, I can't imagine changing anything out. And then I would always, you know, go with what I use, but you know, whatever you like is cool. There's really no answer here. People feel the need for some reason to modify their axes. I'm not sure why. They just think that they have to upgrade. That's the last thing I ever think anything is upgrading. As soon as I see that on eBay, I immediately go to the next ad. It's like, well, if they've upgraded it, I want no part of it. You know, because it just knocks the value down so much right away. You know, you touch one thing, you unsolder one thing, and it's worth half of what it was right then and there. The first thing you change, even the strap buttons, you know, even though it may not ever become a collectible, it's no longer original. So if it's a guitar you're going to keep and you want to make changes as it comes, yeah, you know, the stuff I talk about, maybe consider all that, like you're talking about, but there is nothing wrong with the Mexican Strats at all. I always just lock down the whammy so it can't go anywhere, and take the whammy bar off and hide it in the case or the bag and never touch it, and then cram toilet paper all over in the back of it so it won't make a bunch of spring noise. But beyond, and that's the best thing you can do for them. Then all of a sudden it's like a whole new guitar, and it's like, now I'm really happy with this bastard. So that's my advice. I mean, unless there's something that just is killing you about it, I would never even make a change for any reason. Just great guitars. So that's all I got for you, my friend. But you just write me anytime if you have any actual questions and something does bug you. Say, well, this is doing this, and then I'll be glad to yak at you. Okay? Okay, so folks, I'm out of here for this one, 22, and looks like I have one more to go. So we're going to be doing 23 maybe of these. See if we can get them all crammed in the next one. So let's see what happens, alright? Once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com, just hanging out, chilling, doing the Q&A thing, and again here on the 24th of August, my dad's birthday, and the day before Gene Simmons' birthday. If it makes any difference to anybody. Live long and prosper. Nanu nanu. Catch you in a bit.